What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, three division, five-time world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered one of the faces, if not the face, of the sport of boxing, in Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 29 wins, no loss, no draw, 27 big wins by way of knockout, 28 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. He finally breaks his silence, according to his team, and addresses UFC, MMA, Ultimate Fighting Champion, mixed martial artist, superstar, bantamweight world champion, Sean O'Malley. Okay, Sean O'Malley is 17 wins, one loss, no draw, one no contest. Okay, Sean O'Malley just had a big victory this past Saturday, where he got a knockout in round two, 51 seconds into round two. He knocked out Aljamain Sterling. Okay, knocked him out in the second round. And after the fight, Sean O'Malley, he called out Gervonta Tank Davis. Now, Sean O'Malley is 28 years of age. Okay, he'll be 29 in October. He is 5'11" with a 72-inch arm reach. Okay, he goes by the nickname of Sugar. He's a flyweight champion and a bantamweight champion. He's a two-division world champion in the UFC. And after his fight, after his victory, he said he would love to knock out Gervonta Tank Davis in his next fight. Gervonta Tank Davis is a boxer. Sean O'Malley is a UFC mixed martial artist. He sees big numbers. Okay, obviously, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Sean O'Malley would do massive numbers. Okay, because you have the crossover fan base. Gervonta Tank Davis is a superstar. Sean O'Malley is a superstar. And we saw this in history. We saw in the past, legendary retired iconic Hall of Fame superstar boxer Floyd Mayweather back in 2017. He faced off against UFC superstar legend Conor McGregor, and it's the second highest boxing event in boxing history. It did 4.3 million pay-per-view buys and grossed in over $400 million in revenue. So it's up there, right? And now, most recently, we're going to get October 28th, two-time heavyweight world champion, former unified heavyweight world champion, now the undefeated WBC reigning heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, is going to face off against UFC heavyweight world champion superstar Francis Ngannou. Another crossover superstar showdown, right? And so now Sean O'Malley, he's throwing his hat in the ring and his name in the hat because he wants the opportunity to get life-changing money. If Sean O'Malley fights against Gervonta Tank Davis, he's going to get life-changing money. UFC mixed martial artists, they see now the money is in boxing. Boxers make 2-3 times the amount of money UFC fighters, mixed martial arts fighters make in their respective profession and discipline. And so they see dollar signs. And they do believe that they can be successful, but they see dollar signs, right? You have YouTube sensation turned professional boxer, Jake Paul, making a living off of fighting. He's a professional boxer. He practices boxing. That's his discipline. And he's making a living fighting UFC legends, Tyron Woodley, Nate Diaz, Anderson Silva, and get knocked down. Anderson Silva knocked out Tyron Woodley and knocked down Nate Diaz, right? So he's making a living off of this because of the fan bases. You bridging two fan bases together. There's a lot of interest and a lot of money there. But nonetheless, Gervonta Tank Davis in his prime, right? It's different. Tyson Fury is 35 years of age. He's on the tail end of his career. Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Conor McGregor, it was over. That was the last official boxing match of his career. He was already retired for 2 years and came back and then fought Conor McGregor. Jake Paul, he's a novice. So usually novices within the sport of boxing, they fight cab drivers, retired cops, firefighters, construction workers. This is what they do. Novices. in the beginning of their careers in the sport of boxing. So he's just doing it with big names that are, you got boxers that are working 9 to 5s that are not committed to the sport of boxing. They may have a 1 win, 11 losses, 2 draws. And as a novice, these are guys who you're fighting. Jake Paul is just fighting these guys, Tyron Woodley. These guys have names, but they're not big. They practice boxing, but they're not experts in a discipline. So that's what Jake Paul is doing. When you look at Gervonta Tank Davis, he's in a completely different space from where Floyd Mayweather, Tyson Fury is, and where Jake Paul is in their careers. And Gervonta Tank Davis' team has now stated that Gervonta Tank Davis has stated his focus is not on Sean O'Malley and a crossover fight, but he has a lot of work to be done and business to handle in his respective sport. Now, I respect that from Gervonta Tank Davis because he can very easily venture off into this interest and make this fight happen. And as I thought about it initially, when I was talking to my brother Charles Edward Cheese and we was debating this, and I said, I don't like it because it takes away from what Gervonta Tank Davis has in front of him, the fights that we want to see. But now I think about it, he's already given us 2 competitive boxing matches this year. He fought against, and he didn't take up against no tune-ups. He fought against the undefeated WBA the super featherweight world champion in Hector Garcia. And then he fought Ryan Garcia in April. So he fought Hector Garcia January 7th. Then he fought Ryan Garcia April 22nd. He faced these legal issues. He went to jail for 2 months. There's a lot of things going on. And I stated, I don't mind seeing Gervonta Tank Davis face off against Pitbull Cruz in a rematch in another fight in December or before the year is up, November. And now I think about it, as my brother Charles Edward Cheese put it, you're right. I wouldn't mind seeing Gervonta Tank Davis fight Sean O'Malley before the year is up, get a massive bag, a huge bag. Initially, I don't like the idea because you give these fighters options and plan Bs, and they, like Tyson Fury, holding up the fight, the undisputed fight with Alexander Usyk, who's the unified heavyweight champion, because he has options. So he can demand what he wants. If he don't get it, I'll fight Francis Ngannou. I don't like that for the sport of boxing. But nonetheless, in this case, with Gervonta Tank Davis already giving us 2 fights to close out the year with another big event, because that's what this is going to be, an event against Sean O'Malley, I actually like this to close out the year for Tank Davis. Because I think Tank Davis can get about $50 million at least to fight Sean O'Malley. I think Gervonta Tank Davis can get $50 million at least to fight Sean O'Malley before the year is up. And I actually like the idea. And I'm never one too big to say I stand corrected. So Charles Edward Cheese, my brother, I stand corrected. Because you were saying, why not get a bag and then go ahead and you still could fight these fights because you're still young enough. And I was against it. But the more I put thought into it and what you were saying, I like this idea, especially seeing as though Tank already gave us 2 fights. Now, people say, well, Ryan Garcia wasn't the best fighter in the world and unproven, and Hector Garcia is a guy a weight class below moving up in weight. That's all said and dandy. But nonetheless, he gave us 2 fights against 2 undefeated fighters, and they were good fighters, Ryan Garcia and Hector Garcia. So if he closed out the year with this Sean O'Malley fight, a crossover fight, close out the year, get a big bag, and then go into 2024 focusing on the Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney's, Teofimo Lopez's of the world, I'm all for it. Because I think Tank Davis can get at least $50 million fighting Sean O'Malley. And I would be all for that to close out the year. It's an event. There's a chance Tank Davis doesn't even fight at all for the rest of the year. So to close out the year with Sean O'Malley, make it happen. But Tank Davis said he's not interested. He's focusing on boxers and unfinished business in his respective sport. And he turns down, according to his team, to Sean O'Malley, not interested in focusing on the fighters in his division, in his respective sport. And I can respect that too. But Tank Davis, I'm on board. If you fight Sean O'Malley, you got my support, bro. I'm not against it. Get the bag. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I think he knocks out Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley obviously is 5 inches taller than Tank Davis, has a 5-inch arm reach advantage over Tank Davis, similar to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia had a 3-inch arm reach. Sean O'Malley is 5'10", 5'11". He's 6 inches taller, and his 72-inch arms. Tank Davis has 67-inch arms. But Tank Davis has faced taller, rangier guys in his career. That's what he does. And Sean O'Malley has power, but he can't compete with Tank Davis in boxing. He's going to get stoned in 4 or 5 rounds. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all I got for y'all. I'm going. Peace.